I think I picked the windiest day possible, but it's my first bike ride of the year. I'm trying to get some off-season training in, and I'm about 13 kilometers into my ride, but I don't really have any goals or plans for today. I'm just riding around all day and seeing how far we get. And I'm here at the Glenmore Reservoir. I can't tell you how happy it makes me to finally be on my bike. Like, I haven't ridden either of my bikes since like September or October, I want to say. These crosswinds are damn near pushing me off my bike. Breezy today. I've had to get off a couple of times because of stuff like this, where the bike path becomes a small pond, and there is some icy spots and slushy spots, but it's worth it. To be honest, I'm just happy to be able to ride my bike. I always forget how much I love riding my bike until I'm sitting here doing it. Well, I'm about 26 kilometers into my ride, and I'm eating the best ham sandwich I think I've ever had in my life. And I forget how much I can eat when I'm riding. Like, I've only been out for a couple hours, but I'm starving. And I just picked this up along the way. And today has made me feel very alive. We had about 3 weeks worth of really, really cold weather. It was like negative 25 degrees every day. And if I'm being honest, I was inside the entire time. But now that it's warming up a bit, I'm trying to take advantage of the weather and get a little bit ahead with my training here in the off season. This part of the year here in February and March always goes by so quickly, and before I know it, it's like spring and summertime. And I'm trying to get in good shape before the summer because there's a lot that I want to do, and I want to be ready to do it all by the time June and July rolls around. First ride of the year in the books. We got 30.01 kilometers exactly. To be honest, when I train for cycling, I'm not really the type to train for speed or train for distance or really measure my rides at all. I do just to keep track over time and see how far I can comfortably go. But the kind of cycling that I train for is like bike packing, which is kind of just like riding slowly and consistently for long periods of time. And so what I do is I pick a day where I'm not working or a day where I have a lot of free hours and just ride and find new places to go or revisit bike paths that I know that I like and just ride around all day. That's usually my system of training for bike packing. Of course, I do end up climbing lots of hills and doing far distances, but that just kind of comes with the enjoyment of it, and kind of treat it like a little one-day adventure. Like, I bring my panniers and bike bags and fill them with like snacks and extra clothes and just stuff to bring with me, so I can practice with a little bit of weight, but also just so I can stay out all day. And this is also, I think, the most enjoyable way for me to do it too. for a little over 3 years now. And in the beginning it was pretty casual for me. I would just boulder maybe once a week. And then over time I really started to fall in love with it and realized it's probably one of my favorite sports, I guess, outside of cycling. In previous years I was trying to balance climbing and lifting because I was really passionate about doing lifts and power lifts. But over this winter, I've really restructured the way that I work out, and I think my main focus now actually is climbing, especially because I get to live in the van this summer, or that's the plan anyway, and I'm hoping to have a bit of a dirtbag lifestyle going on, and I want to climb a lot and just be outdoors all the time. And so this winter, one of my biggest goals was to improve my climbing. Well, if it isn't the sponsor of our video today, AG1. Now, let me be candid with you, because I do get a lot of companies and brands basically offering to pay me to tell you about their thing, their product. And to most of them, I say no. Not because they're a bad product necessarily, but because they're things that I don't personally think I would use. I did want to work with AG1 because ever since my first backpacking trip, I've been a huge proponent of bringing powdered supplements with you on the trail or wherever you're going, especially if it's a multi-day trip. I always bring things like protein powders, creatine powders, electrolyte powders, and nutritional supplements such as AG1. My first backpacking trip, for example, was about 7 or 8 days, and it was all backcountry. Like, we carried all of our food, all of our water, all of our gear on our backs. It's not realistic to try to bring 7 to 8 days worth of fresh food with you, so you end up eating dried foods. You eat stuff like ramen and beef jerky and stuff that's calorically dense and easy to transport, but not necessarily the most nutritious. And that's why I think it's good to bring supplements with you. And they make it easy. Like, they put it in these little packages. These take up no space. They weigh almost nothing, and you just dump it in your water bottle. I think it's like 8 to 12 ounces. I already drank most of this, but you fill it up to about there, and then I can just take this to go, and I know that I'm getting my prebiotics, my probiotics, my vitamins, minerals, and I'm covered no matter where I'm going or what I'm doing. And I would also like to say that I would not have accepted this sponsorship if this drink tasted bad, because I've had so many supplements before that made me want to gag. Like, the thing is, supplements are expensive. If I spend my hard-earned money on any kind of supplement, I will take it every single day until it's empty, even if it tastes terrible. Which is why it's so disappointing when you get something new and it ends up tasting disgusting. I actually find this to be refreshing. To me, it tastes like vanilla. It's like light, and I think it tastes good. So obviously, there will be a link in the description. I think that's $20 off if you decide to get your first subscription, and there will be a QR code right here for you. So thank you to AG1 for sponsoring our video today. I've been working really hard to try and do YouTube full time by this summer, and sponsorships like this get me one step closer to doing that. So thank you to AG1, and we'll get back to the video. We have a sort of nice day today. I think it's still a little bit below freezing, but it's sunny at least. This is Prairie Mountain that I'm on today. Prairie. People know it as nature's stairmaster because it's kind of just straight up the entire time. I think there's about 700 meters of elevation, maybe a little bit more. And it's perfect as a winter hike though, because you're not really in any avalanche pathways here, so you can hike it pretty much year round. If you go when there's deep snow, it kind of adds to your workout because you're like trudging through the snow as well. It's pretty packed down today though. Honestly, the views don't really start until you get to the top, but I don't mind it. Like, I was thinking about my younger self, like my teenage self, and I would give anything. I loved hiking. It didn't matter to me if it was a long hike, short hike, ugly, pretty. Like, I was just down to go because it was something to do. So I try to be grateful whenever I'm on a trail, even if it's just in the tree line for a long time and it's not the most spectacular. I'm still hiking at the end of the day. I also kind of feel like this is my favorite way to do zone 2 heart rate training. If I can keep a steady pace up the mountain the entire time, like my heart rate is elevated, but I'm not pushing it, like panting out of breath. I can still talk. I do a lot of slow runs for that same reason, also because I'm not a fast runner. Super popular trail. I run into a lot of people here today. I love this part here. Once you break the tree line, the view is beautiful. And you can see all the mountains surrounding you. The snow is a little bit deeper up here though, but not too bad. There. This part kind of becomes a bit of a leg burner, but at least you know you're close to the top. Ew, that breeze is humbling. I was sweating my butt off down there, and now I'm a little bit chilly. There's not a lot of snow up here. You can actually see the rock underneath it all. It's a little breezy, but here's the summit. Ain't that a view? I'm gonna get my layers on. I don't even know if you can hear me. There it is. My back is kind of sweaty. Not good. Let's air that out a little bit. Sweaty in my back. Gross. Sorry about that. I have some special pepperoni here. Our friend Luca gave us this. Him and his dad hunt, and they got an elk this year, so they gave us a whole bunch of elk meat for the freezer, and these pepperoni sticks, which I think are also elk. They might be venison, actually. They're good. They just taste like normal pepperoni, to be honest. And a little cheddar cheese. Brr. Losing feeling in the left phalanges. Not too sure if you can hear me over the wind, but getting up here was exactly an hour and 26 minutes. 5.78 kilometers to the top, and I think 711 meters of elevation. As much as I'd love to stay up here and chit chat, the wind is wicking the heat away from me so quickly, especially every time I take off my gloves to do anything, so I'm heading back down. That was a successful day, and I should get back down to the bottom pretty quickly. I'm just getting off of this peak here because my fingers and my butt are freezing. There's like a thick layer of mud stuck to my spikes. Guess what? So that was 2 hours and 35 minutes altogether, almost 10 kilometers, 9.9 technically, and such a beautiful, beautiful day. Yup. Oh, it feels good to sit down. So here you can see me working out in our humble apartment gym. It's definitely not the best gym in the world, but we make it work. And because I'm only working out in the gym usually once a week, sometimes once every 2 weeks. I try to do full body while I'm there. So I'll start with some kind of compound lift. I'll do either bench, deadlifts, or squats. And then the rest of the stuff that I do is usually calisthenics. Sometimes I mix it up depending on what I'm feeling that day, but usually calisthenics because I think they're fun and they work a lot of my muscle groups and they help with my climbing as well. And I don't know if you can tell here, but the plates that they have at this gym for some reason are not normal size. Like they're not the same size as bumper plates. So when I'm deadlifting, I kind of have to stack them on top of plates on the floor to get them to the right height. And as you can see, it's not the most ideal system because as I'm lifting off and landing, it's kind of wobbly. It's kind of sketchy. So I never lift heavy in this gym and I don't try to PR or anything here. I feel like it would be kind of sus and I would probably hurt myself. But for a regular workout, I think I'd rather do this than bring myself all the way to the climbing gym just to do some deadlifts. And then here I'm moving on to my calisthenics. I'm doing some pull-ups, which is one of my favorite exercises. I try to make sure I get the full extension, so I do my full range of motion when I'm coming down and going all the way up and attempting at least to get my chin over the bar as best as I can. Pull-ups help me train my back and biceps, and then I move on to dips, as you see here, which are training my chest and triceps. I'm only doing about 2 or 3 sets of dips here, and I just go until failure, and I try to focus on keeping my shoulders and my core engaged through the movement. This last exercise I honestly think looks really goofy and I feel kind of embarrassed doing it sometimes because it's just like, it just looks like a silly movement, but it's really good for your core and it really helps me with climbing, especially in an overhang or a cave where you have to get your feet really high up onto the wall. This movement has transformed my core strength, so I do it even though it looks insane. And then this is not normally part of my workout, but I found this weighted hula hoop in the gym and I obviously had to give that a spin. A little sleep deprived. I was planning on taking us running today. I was gonna do a trail run, go to a nice park, but I can't because I have big fat blisters on my heels from when I hiked up Prairie Mountain. I wore my camping boots because I thought the snow might be deep, and then the snow wasn't deep, and I got blisters like 20 minutes into my hike, and they're still hot to this day. So I'm not running, but I thought maybe we could go on a bike ride. And remember how at the beginning of this very same video, I was like, oh, I never train for time. I don't care about my speed. I was talking a lot about all that. And today I decided that I changed my mind. I've been looking into potentially maybe doing a gravel race this summer, and don't hold me to that because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to afford it. It's like pretty expensive to like get my bike outfitted for the stuff that I need, to pay to enter the race and all the stuff, all the costs that come with doing that. So I'm on the fence about it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford it, but if I do, I think I'm going to need to start figuring out how to bike faster. I actually have no idea what my average pace is. I never pay any attention to my speed. And so today I thought I would give myself a solid hour. I'm gonna bike out to where I can find a bike path that's hopefully not too obstructed, where I don't have to cross roads or stop too often. And I'm gonna see how fast of an average speed I can maintain for this hour. Fingers crossed, this is a good ride. I wore my most aerodynamic clothes. Just the tightest clothes I could find. But I'm excited to go outside. It looks beautiful out today. Okay, it was bright and sunny all morning, and I brought my bike down to the lobby, and suddenly it's like snowing outside. So I'm gonna wait. It says it's supposed to stop in like an hour, so I'll be back in an hour. All right, so the rain or snow or whatever that was stopped, and it's definitely breezy out. It's gonna be a bit of a windy ride, I can already tell, but it's dry enough outside. Chilly, but not too cold. Wish me luck. For those of you who aren't from Canada, you should know that Canadian geese, although they are magical, beautiful creatures, are menaces to society. They'll hiss at you and honk at you, even when you're giving them like meters worth of space. Sometimes I like to honk back, just to let them know. Yeah, so I thought. Okay, so I have my bike parked. I'm gonna open up my Strava and see how he did. I was trying not to check it while I was riding because I didn't want to get in my head about it. I was trying to find like a rhythm. 1 hour and 14 seconds, and my pace was 25 kilometers an hour, which sounds like a nice rounded number. I have no frame of reference, to be honest. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm assuming it's like intermediate, but it felt sustainable. I'm happy with that, I think. And more to come as the season gets warmer and as the weather is hopefully less sporadic than it was today. I intend to do this more. And now I think I deserve to go get like a coffee or something. Maybe a burger. I don't know. I want to say thank you for coming and training with me over the last month or so. If there's any takeaway you get from this video, I think I would like it to be that training and exercise and working out should be fun. Because I think there's been times in my life where I saw working out as a chore or just something that had to be done to be healthy or something I had to do to make my body look a certain way. And I prefer to see it now as an opportunity or like a way to open doors for myself, because a lot of my favorite hobbies or my favorite memories that I have wouldn't be possible or wouldn't have been possible without like a solid level of fitness. And that's how I see it now, is like the better shape that I'm in or the stronger that I am, the more stuff I can do and the more fun I can have. It's not about changing my body or like competing with anyone. It's just to make my quality of life better. So I hope I can share that sentiment with you. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Thank you very much for being here with me, and I will see you next time. Cheers.